All right, let's switch over to Paramount Plus because we got a question from Oddball on Instagram asking if we were going to discuss Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I hadn't realized it was out yet. This was originally a project that was announced for Comedy Central and then eventually shifted over when Viacom realized they need to actually put content on Paramount Plus in order to get people to sign up for it. The film follows Beavis and Butthead in the year 1998, who get assigned to 6 weeks of space camp, get launched into space, and travel through a black hole that sends them 24 years into the future to a world full of iPhones. Art, the first and most important question I have is, did you watch Beavis and Butthead as a kid?
Not as religiously as probably a bunch of other cartoons out that were out there, but I knew of Beavis and Butthead very well. I think I ended up seeing a lot of their clips online more than actually sitting down to watch the series. But did you?
Not a lot. I feel like I have vague memories of like having a Beavis and Butthead point and click game, but I wasn't. I was more of a King of the Hill guy, as my shirt might reveal.
Bro, I was literally about to me, this and King of the Hill were in that realm. So at least you're on one of them. But I had always put those kind of like together as those type of cartoons. They're goofy, and I think what this does better than a lot of animated stuff that's tried to come back is that you have a lot of these 90s, early 2000s cartoons that now do that culture shock thing of like, oh my goodness, this is everything that's happening in 2022. And I think they're very authentic to their characters. To a degree where you actually get some of the best fish out of water moments from one of these revivals. Yeah,
they don't overplay it. It's not all like, whoa, isn't 2020 so different from the 90s? So well. Yeah, it's just like there's these little bits here and there. Like I love the moment when they're asked to take a photo for somebody else. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I think ultimately, like, it really does come down to these are really iconic vocal performances from like Mike Judge, and they're still so singular and bizarre and funny to listen to. Like the constant sort of murmuring and like choking on their own breath that these guys do as other characters talk. It's just funny. There's something very silly about it. And I think also like removed from the 90s where they felt a little bit more true to the counterculture. They felt more like representations of actual kids. Now they just are like silly little boys because who's even wearing AC/DC and Metallica shirts anymore unless you're copying Stranger Things?
I think the fans are still out there. I'll find out at Lala for you, Zach, but I agree with you.
I mean, are they 16?
No, they definitely not 16. But I forget how young they're supposed to be. Like when you look back at all of these shows, South Park, they're what, fourth graders and they've never grown up.
Exactly.
They're supposed to be like, I think in middle school. I think. Right. But that's what makes them like so cartoony is this idea that they're just boys who don't understand how the world works and they're disgusting, but they don't realize how innocent they are. You know, they're cartoon mother schmuckers is what they are. And that's why I think it plays so well now that they're in the 2022 setting.
Exactly. Yeah. There's just like they're almost weirdly innocent now because there's been so many other shows that go so much further in terms of like shock and vulgarity. And this is just kind of like, you know, like people who don't have very developed senses of humor interacting with the greater world.
And it's kind of funny. So
I gotta love it.
It's not enough to get the Paramount subscription yet, but hey, new content is always welcome on Paramount if they're charging you money. So
absolutely,
one of the best because it's one of the only. Beavis and Butthead over on Paramount Plus.
Oddball was saying we don't talk about Paramount Plus stuff enough, but they got to give us some more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, give us some stuff. We'll talk about it. What was the last one that you got the screenings for? The mayor of whatever.
Mayor of Kingston.
I'm surprised you even remember it because, that was during a time when we had too many towns and kings and a bunch of different series. But Beavis and Butthead, if you're curious, pretty good revival.